Danan claims celebrity Love Island bosses gave Valium to help drug comedown. Mirror Online. The TV star claims celebrity Love Island bosses gave him Valium to help through his drug comedown. Former soap star Danan has claimed celebrity Love Island bosses helped him with his drug withdrawal when he appeared on the show. The former Hollyoaks actor appeared as a contestant on the ITV dating show in 2005, which was the first series, and has now claimed that he was given Valium as he battled drug withdrawal symptoms. The show was based in Fiji for that series, and Paul has claimed that he took a number of party drugs and before jetting off. Speaking to The Sun, Paul revealed some of the reasons for his erratic behavior in the villa that led to a potentially violent confrontation with Westlife and S former bodyguard Fran Cosgrave. The show has come under fire for its aftercare, with the tragic suicide of Mike Velasitis highlighting the mental health concerns of former Love Islanders. Speaking about his time on the show, Paul said, "I was fine mentally, it was more just asking, do you have any problems? At that time, I didn't realize that I probably did have a few issues with addiction. I suppose he must." It turned out that this was just a front, and as the cameras rolled, Paul started to feel serious withdrawals from the drugs. To help him out, Paul revealed, "They gave me some Valium and it just chilled me out, and the next day I was fine, and that was it. That was the end of my kind of cluck. I didn't even know." Paul has also claimed that show producers had decided to ply him with alcohol, despite him having stints in rehab for addiction, and that he became unpredictable and when drinking. This was proved when Paul had a drunken confrontation with Fran Cosgrove, which saw him ejected from the villa by the show and security. Speaking on the Berkhamsted A Teenage Diary podcast, Paul stated that he felt producers were looking to get him drunk as it would help boost ratings. Paul said maybe the reason they gave us more booze was because they saw that people were liking this Danan drunk, let's give him some booze because it doesn't seem to agree with him, and something's gonna happen because no one is really copping off. I was the one saying to everyone, come on, if you like her, she's for, let's get it on. Everyone was like, careful of the cameras. I didn't even know. Speaking about the confrontation with Fran, Paul blamed the situation on a number of negative feelings coming to a head. He continued, I just lost it. I got very paranoid. I ended having this big row. Literally the bouncers have got my arms and my legs are pulling me off, and I am calling him this gay, Irish, disgusting word. He claims that show bosses were loving the notoriety that Love Island was gaining. Paul asserted, but it was great TV for them because suddenly the ratings went up. They chucked me off I was sitting there on this other island and was like, what am I doing here? They were like, they had a vote whether or not I was allowed to come back, and I come back on, but the deal was I wasn't allowed to drink, nothing. They calmed down. Mirror Online contacted ITV for comment, who declined due to medical confidentiality. Do you have a story to sell? Get in touch with us.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up in the park.